Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Filoki, and today I want to talk a little bit about DK Metcalf and what I think he'll do in the 2020 NFL season. Before we get into the video though, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support. It's been very interesting to see the topics and viewpoints brought up in the comments. The likes have been great, the views have been great, and just a little over a week ago, I was saying thank you for 200 subscribers, and after 10 days, we've gained over 50 subscribers, so now we're a little over 250, I think we're at 260 now. But that's just insane. I mean, 50 subscribers in a little over a week is definitely some good numbers for someone as new as me, and I can't say thank you enough. All the support has been tremendous. But getting into the video, as a Seahawks fan, I was ecstatic when we picked up DK Metcalf in the draft last year. I'm surprised he fell to the last pick in the second round, pick 64. That means every other team in the NFL had passed on DK Metcalf twice. Obviously, there are some teams that traded out of the second round, but basically every team had passed on DK Metcalf except for the Seahawks. The Seahawks picked him up. The Seahawks drafted him, and he had a lot of question marks. He had an injury history, and there were a lot of question marks when it came to his abilities as a route runner, but I think in his first NFL season, he definitely showed that there is definitely a starting ground. There is definitely a base level of route running skills that he has, and he does very well when he needs to. He obviously has some room for improvement. I mean, his cuts are still a little bit slower than most receivers. I mean, is he a top 10 wide receiver? Not yet, but I think within the next few years he can definitely be top 10, top 5 easily, because if he continues to progress, he is just an athletic specimen. Being that big and that fast is just crazy to see. So if he can get the skills down, which he already has a lot of the skills, if he can continue to progress and he can continue to get better, there's no stopping him in the league when it comes to 3 years down the line. But one of the biggest problems people had with DK Metcalf coming out of college was his route running skills. A lot of people saw that he was mainly a streak specialist. He just ran straight lines. He was faster and bigger than everyone else on the field. And a lot of people were saying that he can't run a actual route. And people put that as a negative on his draft report. Obviously, that's a learnable skill. I don't know, like it's a negative when he comes into the league, but being that big, that fast, and having the ability to catch over smaller cornerbacks is definitely something that you would want in a wide receiver. You can teach him the route running skills later, but I guess this was just too big of a problem for a lot of teams in the NFL, and the Seahawks took him. And he seemed, honestly, as a fan's perspective, I'm no analyst, I'm no person who knows every single thing about football. I watch as a fan, and I have a pretty good understanding of the players and how football works. DK Metcalf seemed like he ran routes pretty well. I don't know if that was the work that he put in with Russell Wilson before the season actually started, or the work in training camp that he had to do with the coaches and stuff, but he did well. I think that he wasn't really a streak specialist. He definitely had some points where he was just running streaks and he was getting some big yardage plays, but he showed signs. He definitely showed signs that he could run routes really well. He could get open, and I have the highlights up. You'll probably see a couple of them. You'll probably see quite a few actually, because he is a pretty good route runner, and I think almost any NFL wide receiver can be a good route runner. Obviously, DK Metcalf is nowhere near as skilled of a route runner as someone, say, like Devontae Adams, someone who is just able to get open almost every play. But when you look at DK Metcalf and you see the tremendous size that he brings and the insane speed, the route running comes second. You can teach him route running, and you can teach him how to catch, and he caught some pretty crazy passes. He had some pretty great catches, and I think he has a chip on his shoulder, and that's the biggest thing that will lead to his success. I think if DK Metcalf was drafted top 5, that could have honestly been worse for his mental state and worse for his progression, because now that he was drafted last pick of the second round, he waited so long, all the stress that built up, all the anxiety that he had, all of the people telling him that he would fail, and all the people saying that he wasn't good enough to be in the NFL. All this, I think, will lead to him being a better player when it comes down to it. In the end of his career, he'll be much better because of it. I think DK Metcalf has a chip on his shoulder, like I said, and he will find a way to succeed in the NFL by any means possible. And he did really well in his rookie season, and I think that he'll only progress further because, 900 yards in your rookie season is not bad whatsoever. But when you go into the playoffs, your first playoff game as a rookie, and you go out and break a rookie record and get 160 yards against the Eagles in 2019 in the playoffs, winning the game for the Seahawks, you've shown yourself to be someone who has the potential to be great. I have no doubt in my mind that DK Metcalf can easily be a top 10 wide receiver in this league. And even next year, he could be a top 10 wide receiver. And I believe if I was going to predict what his stats would be, I think he's guaranteed to get over 1,000 yards. If he gets the touches, if he stays healthy, I believe he will get well over 1,000 yards because he only had 58 receptions last year. And I definitely think they'll use him more in the slot this year because the matchups that he would have would be amazing for him. He would either have the size advantage on a nickel corner, he would have the speed advantage on a linebacker, and there'd be almost no way to cover him in the slot. You just have to put your best player you can possibly put on him and just hope for the best because there's not a lot of cornerbacks that can cover a 6'4", 230-pound machine that runs faster than 90% of the players in the NFL. So it's almost going to be a guaranteed mismatch every single time. And I think the real question when it comes down to how good DK Metcalf can be is when will he take the number one receiver spot from Tyler Lockett? It could be this year, it could be next year, it could be the year after that. When does he take the number one spot? When does he start getting more targets than Tyler Lockett? When does he start getting more receptions than Tyler Lockett? I think that it is possible that he could get more targets than Tyler Lockett this season. And really, we just have to see what he does next season. I really hope that he can have a very productive and very successful season. I think every Seahawks fan is rooting for DK Metcalf. To make a final prediction, I am going to predict 1,350 yards and 13 touchdowns. I think he's going to have a very good season, and the amount of receptions I think he'll get will be around 75. I think that they'll include him a lot more when it comes to the passing game, and they will most likely target him around like 125 times. He'll get his catching percentage up, and I think that he'll have a very productive season. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. Comment down below what you think DK Metcalf will do next season. Do you think he'll have a great season? Do you think he'll do worse than last season? Let me know, and make sure you subscribe if you're new. We've been growing a lot recently, and I can't thank everyone enough for all the support. It's been great, and yeah, with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day.